Hey YouTube, what we have here is a Squier stratocaster. I don't know if you can read, but below where it says stratocaster made in Japan. Yes. Serial number looks like an 002. A silver series. But it's a parts caster. So I think Mr. Whitesnake, this is similar to the one you had where you basically maybe had a plywood body. So now it's got another body, whatever the body is, it had the micro tilt neck system in it. So I had to do some crazy shimming. This is pal Craig, the guitarist in After the End. I'm not sure this would do the sab. Well, I don't know. If we have talked about it before, what would have happened if Joe Iommi's Strat hadn't broken, the neck pickup hadn't gone when they were after they recorded Wicked World and they had to use the SG. Maybe a Strat like this would be the Sabbath guitar. Yeah, so the body is something else, Fiesta Red, pretty classic. Rosewood fingerboard. The tuners are Goto. Are they the exact ones that are on this? Kind of look like it. Yeah, I'd go to say these are the exact same tuners that I put on the Kraken. So I'd imagine they're probably just stock. Those ones came off a Hondo Fame series from about 1987 or something like that. So it's very feasible that this is probably kind of the same era as this. I'm not sure how the serial number works. 027. I don't know. I don't think it's 2002. I'm pretty sure. That you got Japanese Strats in. Yep. So it's got what was it? Craig said one of the preloaded Wilkinson Strat things on it. So Wilkinson pickups. The bridge is, I would hasten to say, not a cheapy one because it's got like it doesn't have a big block, but it's a steel block. So I'd maybe just buy an arm for that, wouldn't bother with the bridge. I think these strings might have been on it for a while. It's like there was a problem with the... I had to do a wee bit of dremeling round about to get the neck pocket to fit. So it's just one of those ones, it's like making a parts caster's not quite as easy as just sticking bits together. It is if you just buy brand new Warmoth parts and you spend a couple of grand on it, then it just goes together like Lego. Woo! Whereas if you're buying an old guitar from here and a neck from here or any sort of kit that's under $1,000, you're going to have to adjust things to make things fit. It's not just a case of sticking it together. I mean, I think this is a fantastic little... I would rather it had a maple fretboard. So it's not quite the full Hank Marvin, but I mean, there was a time when I thought this was boring. Now, I think a black one and a tobacco burst one's boring. The red one, you don't actually see that many red and white Strats. But I'm pretty sure when I remember starting playing the guitar, they all look like this. This was the sign of a cheap one if it was this colour. All these makes that you just don't see anymore because they were just crap and nobody even bothered. You just used it and then once it broke you just threw it away because it was rubbish. It's kind of like a wee bit like a... Version 4. And because I don't have my parts box, it's in a big massive pile that's going to get sorted. I will sort it. I don't actually have strap buttons, so Craig can have these plasterboard screws, which are as a temporary measure for free. And we maybe even use them as better things because they're quite long and thin. Maybe raise it up a little bit. Just using the orange TH30 on its own. I've got the Moore reverb pedal on. Neck. Wee bit of dirt. El Cambo dirt. These new strings, this. So I was looking there wondering what that, oh, you won't be able to see it. There's a wee dot, and I was like, what's that red thing on my shoe? It's actually the wee thing that says it's recording. There's a wee thing that says I've been on for 5:20. With a wee red dot next to it. Bridge and a bit of rap. Yeah, so it's cool. This is actually my first time playing a Japanese squire neck, and I will go as far as to say it. This is a Japanese squire, but it's not like that one. That one has a neck like the Japanese Fender. This has still a Japanese neck, but it's just not as expensive as what's on that squire. And what's on, I've got a couple of, I'm going this from all the Fenders I own are, well, it's a squire technically, but I've got two Fenders, an 88 Japanese one and a 94 Japanese one, and they both are the same neck as it's on that, very similar to the neck that's on that, the same neck that's on that, made by the same people who made the neck on that. Yeah. This is actually closer to that than it is to, I'm used to having that Telecaster sitting there. I wanted to point at that. So I've moved things about. That in my collection is my non-vintage collection. I don't have, all those guitars are less than 20 years old. And that's the only guitars I've got that are less than 20 years old, including ones that I bought new. How old's that? Oh no. Yeah, but it's so it's got the expensive tuners on it. I'm assuming, I don't see any marks indicating that there was other tuners on this at any point. My only thing I know about this is my pal had one. Well, he's in Holland, so I've never actually met him, but he's talking about it and saying that the hardware and stuff was on the cheaper side. I'm wondering, my pal had a Fernandez, which was a bit like that. The neck was very well built. It was very well built, but it had really, really cheap pots. Like, really cheap. Like, less good than what we'd expect to get in a Squier sort of thing. It was like, so they've obviously just, how do you make a guitar in Japan cheap? You use plywood. But I mean, the necks on these it's fantastic. It's quite chunky. It's kind of the same. It feels like what modern Squier necks feel like, that profile, and it's kind of the same sort of finish as well. I don't know when they stopped being super glossy or whether it was really an option. It's got skinny frets, really nice rosewood fingerboard. Even then, I would have said there's maybe a slight element of scratchiness along running the finger up down. This is a Fujigen guitar. So would I put this better than a Mexican one? There's a fight for it. I don't know. Maybe it depends on what colour it was. And this would need decent strings on it. It needs a bit playing. This has not been a guitar. This has been flung together as a parts caster. I got the impression maybe 10 years ago, and it didn't really work. So he gave up on it, and it sat. And then he probably, when I joined the band, he went, "Oh, I can get Malcolm to have a look at that red guitar." And that was, 5 years ago? So eventually got it. But I think these are actually quite thick strings. I've just hardtailed it. No, I do quite like unfortunately, I think we're past the time when you can pick up a Japanese Squier for £100. You know, it's like there was. I remember it being a thing. You know, you would occasionally see squires and it'd be like, oh, look at it, just like, oh, some of them say made in Japan on them. I wonder what difference that makes, because they're kind of this. They look the same. But now you're up at a few hundred, I think, to get a Japanese one, purely because it says Japanese on it, rather than for a quality level thing, really. But upgradable. I mean, you could pick up a set. I mean, I put Wilkinson pickups in. Actually, it was another red Strat like this last week. It was a Squier. It was a Squier as well. The Squier, was it a Bullet? I had a Squier Bullet, but it's like this colour. It was like a thin strap with a hardtail, and it was only 17 quid or 20 quid or somebody paid for a set of Wilkinsons, and it's like, that doesn't seem like very much. Maybe 30 quid. Even then, 30 quid. I think you can get the Warman sort of versions of the Wilkinson Texas Specials or Triple Hots for like 25 or something. But I don't know what Giggle paid for the scratch plate. Probably 30, 40 quid, something like that. But I think this is the original Japanese bridge. So there's nothing really else to do with this. It's great. I'd buy a tremolo arm for it just to get it working fully. And then it needs played and it needs new strings. I think these strings are decent strings, but they're quite a heavy gauge, and I think they were maybe put on a while ago and never played. And saying that, they're holding tune. And again, I'm just getting every Strat I play apart from my Tempest one. I want to have the cascading Megabucker switch in there just so I can make it into a humbucker. No, the more I play it, the better it's getting. It's getting better. Even in the 10 minutes I've been playing it there, it's starting to get used to going, yes, I was at one time a good guitar. I shall be so again. Was once a very powerful weapon. Stratocaster's nothing but a symbol. See, try to bend that extra note when you've got new strings on it, or in this case, old strings that have never been used. I could just feel the string going and stretching. I'm really liking that rusty fuzz pedal. It does seem a bit of a waste playing really nice guitars through it, but I mean, I still like it. Rocking. No, I like this guitar. I was kind of a bit. It doesn't look. It's like it's a cheaper one than what most of the Fuji Gen guitars I've got kicking about, but it does have. It's kind of got the paint. It's like a square neck that's painted to look. It's like a Fender neck painted or made to look like a square neck. It's kind of is a little bit. It's a little bit on the special side, I have to say. And there's something about the red and white Strat is rather nice. Does need the tremolo arm, and I would want a Dave Gilmour switch in it. Rock on!